welcome back to my channel and welcome to the new Stelvio Quadrifoglio test ride. Car sounds fantastic, even better than the Giulia. Man, that's so fast. So this car is based on the Giulia, you know, from the platform and even the performance. It's 2.9 liter V6, twin turbocharged, of course, producing 505 brake horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque. Listen to that, guys. This car is all-wheel drive, but you know, it's real base, of course. You know, it only sends the power to the front when, you know, it starts to lose traction. And you can feel it, you know, it's just not four-wheel drive all the time. It's playful, very engaging, and absolutely fantastic. It feels so good. Excuse me guys for that sound that keep bumping. This is the speed limiter. I try to turn it off from there and it's not really working. So raspy, unbelievable. With the sound of the car, guys, it's fantastic. And the shifts of the gear are super fast. This ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox is brilliant, you know, it's really good. So smooth and fast and engaging, and it shifts exactly when he wants to, which is great. The Giulia Quadrifoglio had 0 to 100 or 0 to 62 miles basically in 3.9 seconds. The all-wheel drive system on this car shred, you know, the time by 0.1, so now it's 3.8 seconds from 0 to 100. That's crazy. I'm driving the car in race mode, which is the highest settings. You know, it makes everything so aggressive, you know, and snappy and fast. So when you put the car in race mode, the traction control will turn off. Also, the suspension is on the hardest settings. If you press it once, you only can press it once to make it in the medium settings. So you cannot have it in soft settings. But anyhow, you know, I kept everything on the hardest settings. Let's downshift, guys, and hear the noise. Just crazy blip. So raspy. And loud. No fake noise coming inside the cabin, guys. And for a reason, this car sounds a bit better than the Giulia. I'm not really sure if the flaps are more open or just because of the shape of the car. This is something we have to check later. When you look at the exhaust, you know, pipes basically, and you know, with the diffuser, probably it makes a difference, but it's doubtful. I need to drive them back to back to see if they really sound different, but for a reason until now I feel this car is a bit louder. In typical Alfa Romeo, the car wants you to drive fast. You know, you really don't much enjoy the car in the comfort mode. I mean, it's still like drivable and everything, you know, but you want the car to be driven super aggressive and fast. Absolutely fantastic. It's a bit firmer than the Giulia. I believe they did that because it's a bit heavier and, you know, central gravity is a bit higher. But it doesn't absorb the bumps so good and the roads imperfection, and you know, just like the Giulia. But it's still a great suspension, don't get me wrong. I'm just gonna put it in the medium mode and see if the ride quality improves. So it was a bit jerky there. Those massive pedal shifters Ferrari look like, and obviously they are like Ferrari. Maybe they are made from Ferrari as well. They are fixed on the column, which is cool, because even when you're turning, you know, they're still there. They're not on the steering wheel, but because they are so big and so uncomfortable to shift, I just absolutely adore them. And the feedback from the steering wheel is so precise. The handling of this car is fantastic. The shape of the steering wheel is pretty good. You have Alcantara soft leather, you know, and it's really nice. The driving position also is pretty good. I tend to, you know, lower the seats to the max and then try to get the steering wheel as close as to me. Is so fast. Nice downshift. Let me see how it grips. Grips pretty good as well. I love it, man. Nice sound. It's glued to the ground. You know, as soon as the back starts to lose the grip, the fronts interfere. The engine is so good because you're producing 505 brake horsepower, 600 Newton meters of torque from 2.9 liter, and I'm sure they could do better. This is a pure Ferrari engine. You know, it feels like it, you know, it sounds like it, you know. Of course, they took 2 cylinders out, but still, it's purely Ferrari. I can 100% sure about that. And this car have amazing technology. It have that cylinder efficiency management, so it allows 3 cylinders to deactivate it when the car is not using the full power. I mean, this is very healthy for the engine. Plus, it doesn't, you know, consume so much gas because, you know, you're not using the full power, which is great. Let's talk about the exterior, guys. It's very familiar to the Giulia Quadrifoglio, of course. Those are the bike xenon LED lights, and they are standard. And the day running LED light, of course. They look great. I love the shape of that light, especially when it lit. Let's open it to see the light. So basically it lights from here to there, and it's really nice, especially at night, so aggressive. Of course, guys, this is the famous new grille from Alfa Romeo, and it looks great. I love it. So much ventilation going to that engine. Going down, you have the parking sensors and the, you know, automatic headlight washers as well. You know, 2 openings from there. Lots of sensors. If you look at the hood, it's carbon fiber, and it's ventilated, and it looks great. And you can feel the heat going out of there. So it's not just for looks; it's for functionality as well. I really like the shape of the car. You know, from the front, it's so aggressive. Nice bumper basically, and it's very well integrated. I love it. From the side, the car looks great. Again, there's another 2 lines, one from top, one from the bottom on the door, and they go all the way to the back. Of course, you have the 4-leaf lever now on all the high-performance models or vehicles from Alfa Romeo to differentiate that from the regular, and it looks great. Triangle shape, white and green. The wheels are actually from Pirelli P0, 255, 45, 20 inches. Those are absolutely fantastic. Just the regular brakes, steel brakes, they're very good, ventilated, and they don't fade too much. I like them. If you want more performance, you can get the carbon ceramic brakes for $8,000. They are made from Brembo. But I believe the steel brakes for daily, you know, driving is okay. The wheel gap is kind of massive. I don't know if Alfa Romeo wants to have 20 inches for the performance and the handling, but you can easily put 21 inches if you want to. You know, Alfa Romeo do things their own way, different than many other cars. Even the side skirt, the way they are integrated and placed, you know, start from the beginning and the end, and they are very nice. I really like them. Those are just matte plastic, black color basically. The wheels from the back, they are again P0 of course, 285/40 this time. As you can see here, there's a lot of gap between the arch of the wheel and the tire, and it's not a bad thing though, because the wheel, they are actually so much, you know, on the outside. In USA, they must do like the extra basically bumper, you know, there to, in case the tire went off or something. And they extended it, because even they had an extra part here, you know, the tire still goes so much to the outside. I just wish that they have the option for the 21 inches wheel, but so far the rims and the shape of the car and how much the wheel they are going to the outside, we will see from the back that how much the wheel they make the car looks, you know, wider than it is. Of course, this is fantastic. You have the glass cover in the back. From the back, the car looks brilliant again. Just amazing design, really. There's a small wing there. It looks like a hatch. It is actually. Wiper, just one single one. Nice integration of the lights. They look great. The light down again from the, you know, outside. You have the key for there. Going down, you can see there's a massive 2 exhausts on each side, and believe me guys, they sound amazing in real life. And basically they are really big and pointing outwards, and I like them. You know, I like the diffuser as well. The plastic part here, it's kind of cheap, you know, I don't really like it so much. And this range part, basically the plate number, they have like some, I don't know, some fixed part there in black. I need to ask the agent if it came with the car or, you know, they installed it themselves. As we spoke earlier, you can see how much the wheel arc are extended, and I mean the actual tire, they look so good and they are really going outwards, and I like them. They make the car looks wider than it is, and there's a lot of tire there. I mean 21 could do better, but imagine this car having like 300 tire, that would look crazy. Some roads to play here. Pool is so good. This car pool is so good, man. Gonna put the back windows down. You know, for 6,500, and it's really aggressive. I love it. You will have a small screen tell you how to shift basically, and when to shift to which gear based on the RPM, which is cool. I wish there was head-up display. Yeah, I still insist that this car sounds better than the Giulia, just by a little bit, not too much. Brakes are super responsive as well. I just let you hear the car, enjoy the sound of this beautiful beast. Absolutely great. You know, we've seen a lot of people just comparing that to the Giulia, and they forget, you know, the point of this car. This car is not meant to compete with the Giulia, you know. You have an opinion to buy which one based on your preference, but this car is meant to compete with the Porsche Macan Turbo, you know, the new X3M, which is gonna come very soon, the Audi Q5 RS. But I'm gonna give you some figures for the car in comparison, and to see why this car is the fastest SUV in the market right now. I'm gonna put it back in automatic so we can speak a little bit. This car lapped the Nürburgring for 7 minutes 51.7 seconds. That's crazy fast, you know. I mean, it's only 1,660 kilograms, and that's super light as well. So guys, comparing this to the Macan Turbo and the performance, you know, one which is supposed to be the highest, it have 400, almost 40 brake horsepower if I'm not wrong, and 600 Newton meters of torque. And imagine the Macan Turbo from 0 to 100 in 4.4 seconds. I mean, this car is 0.6 seconds faster to 100. Now the Audi Q5 RS is actually having the same engine, 2.9 V6 twin turbo, producing around 450 brake horsepower. And I'm not really sure, you know, about the X3M. Some rumors they say it's gonna be almost same as the M3 engine or a bit higher, like 500. I mean, until that moment, this is the fastest and the best SUV as a sports-oriented SUV, you know, daily driver in the market for sure. And what makes this car so good is the balance. It's again, Alfa Romeo nailed it, you know, after 25 years, you know, they nailed it, 50-50 front and back. So the car is perfectly balanced. As we talked a little bit, it's rear base, all-wheel drive, but you know, the engine is in front, but there's so much balance, and the steering wheel is so precise. It feels amazing, you know. I mean, the front end, the back end, just a beautiful, beautiful driver's car, and it sounds great. Now, my only complaint, I wish the interior infotainment system is a bit better comparing this to the Mercedes, you know, GLC 63 that we did not talk about earlier, which is, you know, having the same engine across all the Mercedes AMG 8-cylinder, which is almost 503 brake horsepower, but much more Newton meters, you know, I believe 700 or 750. But it's much heavier because of the bigger engine, even it's twin turbo. It can compete with this one, you know. It's a bit more luxurious for sure. It sounds maybe good as well, or even better if you like the V8. But it's not so engaging in this one, you know. This is better daily driver again. This car is really a benchmark for the SUV now. I mean, I can't imagine what they're gonna do later. 500 plus brake horsepower and that performance, that engagement, and such a light car because it's made from carbon fiber and aluminium, you know, from mostly all the bonnets and the compartments of the car. There are a lot of factors why the car feels so good. First of all, you know that, you know, when you have a, you know, smaller displacement engine, that saves a lot of weight. If you have full quattro or four-wheel drive, it's even heavier, you know, than the regular all-wheel drive. Just, you know, it basically works when it needs to work. Can you hear that? That's amazing. If you try to go and pick up any bad points regarding this car from the performance and drivability, there's none. I can promise you there's none. It's just perfect. So the big question is, should you get the Stelvio Quadrifoglio or should you just go with the Giulia Quadrifoglio, which is I test drove, by the way, earlier, and I'm gonna link it, you know, below, guys. Check the link and let me know what you think. For me, I believe the Giulia is a bit more engaging because it absorbs the bumps and the handling is a bit better. This is stiffer for a reason. I was expecting to be a little bit softer, but it's not. It's very stiff. And you know, the shape of the car, it's fantastic. You know, they're so similar from the front, but the back they have their own, basically, you know, the shapes and stuff. And so from the looks, I believe it's very subjective. Either you like this one or the Giulia, and believe me, I just like both, but I believe the Giulia is a bit better handling. And I'm not a big fan of the big SUVs, or even this one is not so big, it's just medium SUV. To start the car, press on the start-stop button, which is located on the steering wheel, and then press the gas. Best part for the interior is the steering wheel, man, and the pedals. It's made from Alcantara, nice stretch stitching there, leather on the side all the way down, flat bottom, start-stop engine, carbon fiber, aluminium, lots of different materials, and they work so good together. The position of the steering wheel, you can adjust it manually there. The pedals look crazy. They're so good, so long, and they are actually fixed on the column, steering wheel column, and they look great. There's a small hole there for minus and plus, so there's no sticker, whatever, and they feel so good. This car is equipped with adaptive cruise control. This one you can stabilize and adjust the speed if you have a decline, basically. The air vents, as I've spoken with the Giulia, I mean, the round one that's created, and they are designed like copied from the Mercedes C-Class and other models. But if you go to the central console there, they are different shape. I mean, they don't really go so much together, honestly. I don't know. Door is made from soft leather on top. I really like it. The door handler from metal, and it feels so good. Nice click to the doors. Carbon fiber all the way, double stitching in red to lock and unlock. Harman Kardon, basically sound system. 3 settings for the memory seats, and they look great. I mean, you can put some coins there. You can close the blinds and the windows, adjust the mirrors, open the trunk from here. Good storage space. I put the sunglasses and different stuff. Huge speaker there. On and off, auto. So basically, the car doesn't turn off when you stop at a signal, or you just totally stop. Headlights, you can adjust different functions. You can put on automatic. And this is the same function as the BMW M3 M4 to increase the lights of the interior, basically. Going to the central console, we have the same screen from the Giulia, 8.8 inches. It's very well integrated with the dash. I mean, very nice materials there. I wish it's a bit softer, but it's fine. I really like the shape of the dash, and you can see curves of the hood. You can see a little bit the ventilated hood, basically. Speedometer is analog. It looks fantastic. It's all in white. In the screen, you don't really can adjust much, actually. But when you turn on different functions, you have different, basically, you know, display on the screen, the middle of the screen. You have the 4-leaf glover there and the Alfa Romeo. This is for the oil, and this is for the gas. It looks like copy from the C-Class again. 330 kilometers. Lights and indicators are here located, and basically the headlight washers and different functions are here. Voice command, you can adjust the volume, you can change the channel of your radio, or you know, the music that you store on the Bluetooth or iPhone, basically. Very simple, not really complicated. Going back to the central part, you have that huge trim there from carbon fiber. The hazards are here. AC are very simple. They kind of look old for me. I mean, it's a dual zone. There's different functions, of course. You can turn it off and turn it on. You have heated steering wheel, 1 function. Heated seats for the driver and the passenger, 3 functions. Guys, just let me know what about this gap here. If you know if this car is missing an option, that'll be nice. 12 socket volt or a smoker if you want to have the lighter, 1 USB. The carbon fiber here is great for the cup holder cover. It's very deep and 2 cup holders, but there's small rubber here. It doesn't really, you know, grip so much. I try to put, you know, unless it's a very big bottle, but I don't want to put my water here. Usually put on my door, but for a coffee, I'm 100% it's gonna slip. Now the gear shifter, guys, as I told you earlier, I'm not a big fan of this gear shifter. I mean, there's so much different materials here. Look at that. I mean, this part is made from glossy and it's so much reflective. This part is rubbery. This is, and I don't know, another black part and silver. And the shade, it's like copies from BMW. That's fine, but I mean, Alfa Romeo could definitely improve that gear shifter next time. The best function for the car is definitely that, you know, knob here, that you can have it in efficient, normal driving, which is sport, and then race. Every time you turn on the function, you will see it on the screen. In race mode, it turns in red, and you have to press a bit harder to the right. The suspension turns in red. That means that's the hardest settings. If you press it once, it goes to the normal setting. And all the different functions here, the suspension is only at the normal as the highest, and the softest if it's not pressed in. The knob for the volume, and you can mute it here, and you can turn it off as well. The knob in the middle to control the, you know, all the different multimedia that you have in the car. We have spoken about this in here in the Giulia. I mean, the radio, the media phone, there's all the different functions you need, but it's not so good. And I was hoping better, honestly. I was really hoping better. I mean, seriously guys, I mean, this is 2018, and I mean, this different functions that you have on the car here is just not so good. It's just not the best. I mean, look at the maps, they look old, kind of dated. That they are functional. And there's no buttons to have parking sensor right away. You don't have a button to have the camera. You have to go, you know, all the way to basically different functions here, like driving assistance, you know, rear view camera, and then here you go. You have to press to view it. You know what I mean? I mean, it works, but kind of annoying. There's no shortcuts for any button. You don't know how to cancel this one. If you press it once, it cancels, but there's no cancel button basically. This is the speed limiter. I told you I turn it off, but it's still bumping for a reason. Different safety functions: collision warning, lane departure, blind spot. You can adjust how sensitive you want it as well. So very simple, you know, infotainment. Hopefully they're gonna have a new update soon. Handbrake, automatic parking. You press it inside and then you press it outside. Handrest, and there's kind of good space there. It's lit in LED, and you can have it wireless charging, 2 USB and 1 aux. Going here, guys, you can have the different lights on each side, or just all together. To turn on the shade of the car, you just press this button here one time. Look at the gap, man. The opening is huge. You press it again, I believe it will open the other part. And there's so much light going inside now. Press that once, you can open the roof, and that's fantastic function. Let's press it again, see what's happened. It goes only halfway though, I believe, because the roof goes all the way to the back, and it's not gonna cover the rear window basically, so that's kind of acceptable. Let's just close this one. There's lots of flies. The mirror is auto dim. You can turn it on and off, but kind of, as I said earlier in my previous video, it's kind of big and doesn't move so well. You can put a business card there. Seats, guys, are regular seats, are made from Alcantara and stitched, and of course soft leather, and they're very supportive. The back, guys, the seats are super comfortable, and you can support the head as well, which is great. There's a lot of leg room. There's a lot of, you know, room for the head as well. The panoramic roof makes the car so cool from the inside. There's so much light coming. I mean, look at the opening from the front and the back, which is cool, and you can close that and you can close the other one. I mean, I'm really comfortable. I love the seats a lot. Very soft leather and very supportive. Nice carbon fiber and stitching on the door. Harman Kardon, so you're gonna have some speaker there, cup holder. You know, small AC vent as well. I wouldn't say you can put 3 people easily, but 2 people for sure, and the smaller children. The middle part does not actually have a bump, so you can sit someone there. And there's 2 cup holders, LED lights as well from the back. Listen to that, guys. To conclude, guys, what do I think about this Stelvio Quadrifoglio? Again, it's just a brilliant car. I mean, it starts around $79,000. This one, I believe, it's almost fully optioned regarding, you know, many options apart from the ceramic brakes and the carbon seats. Adding those together, 8,000 and 5,000, that's 13,000. So this one, I would say around $86,000. In dirhams in the agency, it's almost 400,000, so it's above $110,000. You know, cars are a bit more expensive here, and you have the VAT 5% right now. And this car, you know, looks great. You know, there's not so many Stelvio on the road right here. And this is the fastest SUV, guys, ever made, you know, until now. So the car looks very aggressive, it performs very well. Brilliant engine, handling, steering wheel, transmission, you know, feedback to the driver. It's kind of comfortable. I'm not sure about the bucket seats, those are the regular seats, but I was kind of sliding, you know, in some curves, you know, but anyway. And I believe this color looks fantastic with the wheels combination. It's all blacked out except the exhaust, beautiful rims. So why would you get this one? You know, if you're gonna pay the same money, you'll get GLC 63, you'll get the X3M maybe soon, you'll get the Audi Q5 RS, the Porsche Macan Turbo. Well, because it's fastest than Alfa Romeo, it's unique, you know, and you don't really buy it because you're just making comparison regarding the prices. If you do that, do your math, see what's best for you. If you look more for the luxury, go with the Mercedes or Porsche. BMW, we don't know yet, so I cannot tell you. Audi, they're, you know, very heavy. It's like almost 250 kilograms heavier than this one, and the you know, the Porsche has 85 kilograms, and this is the lightest in, you know, in this category, and it's fastest. It's unique, really, I like it a lot. Some people will start to ask me now in the comments, will you get this one over the M4 or M3, whatever. I'm not a big fan of the performance SUVs. It's not like I don't like them, I like them a lot, but I couldn't find really the reason why should you get like performance SUV. I mean, will you ever gonna go, you know, to the desert or the mountains with this one, scratching the rims, and you know, you can't really adjust the, you know, the car, and no way, I will never do that. I will definitely get a Land Cruiser or something. So you're gonna drive it mostly on the road, but it gives you a lot of presence, higher, you know, you see everybody lower than you. Higher center of gravity is always nice feeling. There is a nice size boot, of course. You can still fit people easily in the back. It's a great family car, guys, you know, and still you can put it in race mode and you can go crazy. Thumbs up for Alfa Romeo. They did it again with this Stelvio. I can't wait what we're gonna do with the new 4C, maybe 6C, let's see. Please support this video, guys, by pressing like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have not done yet, and see you next time.